We love hip
Let's
hop.
get to what we came here for who y'all see on the thumbnail. I've been on these Twitter streets. I be talking. Sometimes I have my little rants, you know what I mean? I got Twitter fingers sometimes. And I love to have debates with this gentleman. He's been out here doing this thing, trailblazing from the West Coast from time, G. All right. He's an artist, podcaster, and just an all-around legend in the game. I would like to welcome back to the We Love Hip Hop Network, Glasses Malone in the motherfucking building. Welcome back, brother. Hold on, your audio's not there. Let's make sure we get your audio good, and then we can get to it.
Much better, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the deal?
What's going on, man? How's it going, brother?
Man, everything is good, man. Just living it and getting ready to put out some music. So cranking up.
Can we get to talking about some of that before we get into some of the talking points that I have here for you today, man? Because sure. I know that you dropped some new music, and do you have like an EP out like right now, if I'm not mistaken?
No, I'm still promoting Canceled. I didn't do a really great job of it, but that's all I've been promoting. Canceled. That's it. Cancel These Nuts. The album I put out about 15 months ago.
So, you know, this conversation that we have here that we're about to get into, man, I feel like kind of sparked off of some stuff that I've been saying on Twitter. I'm going to get to that post in a minute. But one thing I want to ask you about where we are now in 2025, do you feel that the culture has shifted from 2024 to now? That cultural shift that everybody's been quote unquote hoping for, I guess?
It's a really weird, like, I don't know if, okay. So when we talk about the culture, that's pretty much the mannerism and behaviors of areas, right? The get down. So I don't know if that's quite shifted as much. Well, I guess it kind of did. You know what? Why not? I think now everybody's eye is up a little bit more. Everybody's kind of looking a little bit more closer to what's happening. I think hip hop had got into a space to where it was just, you know, the art part of it was, you know, and even people consuming it, fans consuming it, it got to a place to where like we wasn't paying attention. Everything was fine. And now it's kind of really, you know, burrowed itself back into like the idea of street urban culture in its initial. Like it's like everybody is really careful with what they're digesting, what's the messaging, you know what I mean? Like what's really going on. And it definitely did. I guess that's fair. It wedged itself back into, okay, we're attentive. Like we're like, okay, what's really going on with this person? If you're putting out a song, if you're putting out an album, what's the real energy behind this person? Like what's going on? You know what I mean? Like what's happening? So it did kind of shift. It's definitely not as lackadaisical as it once was, you know what I mean, over the last decade plus.
I can agree with that to a degree because the new Clips album did really well in the first week. I think it did like 114,000 in the first week.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. That's 120,000 in 7 days is like that's a big statement. You know what I mean? That's especially for an independent record. That's a big statement.
Yeah, for lyrically driven hip hop, you know, stuff that you might have to listen to a few times to catch it. Like that's a breath of fresh air. But like I feel like for the most part, everything else, with the exception of let's say Kendrick's songs that are on the chart from last year and this year, we're still back to the same bullshit. Like Playboi Carti's still the hottest shit. Yeet, and all of these guys are still hot for the young boys.
I don't know if I wouldn't say lyrical. Like I don't like that kind of that part of it because that's not true. It's been lyrical for the last. It's always been lyrical. It's always been people who was very much master craftsmen. There are people who are really good culturally, and social media has created a space to where what you see is more important than what you hear. So somebody could be a disruptive entity visually like a Playboi Carti, or something like that. But even when you say Playboi Carti is still the hottest, it's like he just dropped a project and nothing happened. You know what I mean? It performed well in the first 7 days, but the next, 8 to 14 days, it kind of was like, okay, and then 15 to 21 days, it was like, whatever. And then 22 to 28 days, it was like, yeah, it never happened. So, there was a time a few years ago where Cardi would have dropped a project and it would have hung over. You'd have saw conversations going on for months and months. And now it's like, okay, I think he fed his base, and then the core of the folks who consume hip hop, it's not pushing onto them anymore. It's not pushing on to us anymore. It's like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean. And now there's a lot of us in that space to where it's like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean. Like, you need to try harder.
Is it, to me, I feel like it might be just a whole music thing in a whole, like people's consumption. It's 1 week you're listening to the premiere of it, and then by next week we're on to something else. Shannon Sharp gets into some shit, or somebody gets into something else, and we just like, okay, follow the bouncing ball. Like, it's all mixed up together, like music, content, everything is just all one thing anymore. So it's like, we don't
we're at a time,
keep anything.
definitely. We're at a time. I had a great conversation with my dad. My pops should be 78 this year.
Salute.
And we were talking, and he was telling me like, man, when I was growing up, like, it was only one television on the block. Like, they had the only television on the block in the neighborhood. So people would come to their house and watch TV, right? And he was saying that everybody was entertained by radio. You would be entertained by boxing matches on the radio, basketball games on the radio. Like, everything was broadcasted on the radio. So everybody, even the most poorest people in the community, had a radio. And it's the exact opposite today, where everybody has a TV in their hand. Like, we all walk around with a TV and nobody has a radio. And it made me think like, damn, like back then, everything had to be conveyed with what you hear. So it was definitely a lot more emphasis on what you heard. It wasn't even so much on what you saw. But here we are today, you know what I mean? Because everybody got a TV in their hand, everything is what you see. So when you look at somebody like Carti, like, if hip hop is this disruptive kind of sound and this loud and obnoxious sound, you know what I mean? That was at a time when radio was dominant. So it's disruption was what you heard, yelling, LL Cool J is hard as hell. You was yelling, you could feel the disruption. Today, everything is, you can see the disruption. When you look at somebody like Carti or Uzi, and they may have piercings in these weird places, and visually, they're disruptive, something to look upon, where they're kind of like, they're almost eyesores, you know what I mean? So I think we kind of plateaued there, you know what I mean? And, last year kind of accumulated into a place to where it was like, yeah, the jig is up. The jig is up. It's like, it got to get closer to something that's related to the center of it, like how it started. Like, I think we're starting to see that.
So are you okay with the collaboration between Kendrick and Playboi Carti?
I don't fuck with nobody who diss God. So I don't fuck with Carti at all. But you know what I mean? God is my man, and whatever he do, he an adult. He was he finna be 40 coming up. So it's like, it ain't my opinion. He didn't ask me my opinion, but I don't fuck with none of them people who be dissing God and all that, cause I'm not with none of that punk shit, especially not no black people. I ain't fucking with none of that. So I don't fuck with Carti at all.
I fuck with you, bro, because that's a super honest opinion. I've seen a lot of people move the goalpost and find, oh, well, he said in the song back in 2015, It's okay to just say, I don't mess with the guy he did the collabo with, but I mess with homie.
Yeah, hell yeah. But shit, that's how it is. You know what I mean? I don't fuck with that shit at all. But that ain't my. He may have his own reasons. That's his business. But yeah, I don't fuck with homie at all. You know what I mean? I don't fuck with none of them dudes that's dissing God, cause I'm not fucking with none of that shit they got going on. And that ain't to say I'm gonna go out and speak about them or try to stop they shine or nothing. But yeah, I'm not fucking with that at all. I'm not giving that shit nothing. Fuck, cause that's where I'm at with it.
Dude, I had like some rebuttal points or some shit for you. I don't even have. I can't even use them, bro.
Yeah, nah. I mean, you know me, dog. Like I think there's a kind of a sentiment around because Dot is my homeboy, my friend that we always agree on everything, and that's
Mm.
just not true. Some people I fuck with, he don't agree with. Some people he don't fuck. I don't fuck with them people. No, that's my man though. You know what I'm saying? So shit, that's him and his moves.
No, I respect it, man. I respect it. Um, there's a clip that I want to get to over here, and I think that's I wouldn't say because we were gonna have this conversation eventually anyway, but I think the timing is perfect from a post that you made not too long ago, and from my homie. What's the dirt?
Oh yeah.
All right,
He's
I'm gonna
dope.
pull up
Dude
the
got
clip.
dope content. He cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like as far as over there in the West Coast, or LA specifically, he might be looked at as like public enemy number one. There's a lot of people who don't mess with him over there. Let me pull up your page.
I don't know is that it's always odd when you see a other kind of speaking, you know what I mean? So it's gonna always be taken with a grain of salt.
Mm. Wow,
But
bro, you
I
be
don't think it's not no real element to him like outside. Like no, people don't really quite know him. It's just us in the loop of what's happening.
yeah. I'm trying to find it from your tweets over here of the
Oh
exact
yeah,
post.
yeah. And that
Right?
Raekwon album was cool too.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. So it says, really doing real hip hop.
Yeah, that's just
We gotta talk, man. Just adjust how you see things.
because it's just so weird.
So I'm gonna
He
play a
said,
little bit of the clip so the people can get some context here. Oh man.
The way that these guys push narratives is fucking sickening. Hip hop is back, bro. Lyrics are in. I can feel the shift, bro. I don't know about you. Okay, if that's the case, then why didn't you react to a single album that Boldy James put out this year when he put out 6? How come no one talked about Larry June and 2 Chainz album? What about the LP that Nems dropped? Busta Rhymes dropped an EP. Never heard anyone talk about that. What about Jim Jones? He dropped an album. What about Currency and Harry Fraud? What about Young Buck's new album? Smoke Dizza, he dropped the tape. Wait, so if you're so for the culture and representing the culture, why didn't you talk about KRS-One's album? Let's go to the other side of it. What about Coda the Friend? Fairly new rapper, right? Really doing real hip hop. How come no one reacted to his album? Capadonna, Wu-Tang.
So I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but he's basically making a point that and this is like the full circle of the point here.
I wonder why. Because it had a massive Rock Nation push, one of the biggest industry pushes we've seen in years, and that you'll actually make fucking money if you talk about this. Again, because you care so much about hip hop, you got to talk about Drake's new tracks or anything he does and talk about how it's totally not hip hop, right? Yet, because you represent hip hop so fully, you got to talk about Drake's lawsuit and how that's not hip hop. But now all of a sudden, real hip hop is back, right? It's a bunch of malarkey. They've been pushing it for a year. People are sick of it. I'm calling it out. I'm sick of it.
Okay, we'll stop there. I responded and I said he's right. What was wrong with the message, or was it the messenger?
everybody is not a journalist. So just like hip hop is not the songs. The songs are artistic expressions of the culture, right? So yes, like the albums, right? Different albums represent hip hop, but hip hop is so much more than just an album, or an album by this person or album by this person. And then the expression of really doing real hip hop, it just looked funny. It's like who like somebody doing fake hip, like what? You know what I mean? Like I get it. You know what I mean? If I get the thought, but it's like you have to understand that there's more to this than just a bunch of artists or rap songs. Like it's a representation of what's happening. So I get it. He's not lying. There are people that are into the algorithm, right? Because they're making a business out of making content. But that don't mean that person also is into hip hop. Or do these people happen to know what culture is about? They're just kind of talking about a feeling that's happening that they couldn't articulate if you asked them to. So it's like, somebody like Rob Markman talk about all those albums, right? Because that's what he's a journalist who reviews music. I don't quite know who he is talking about, like which, because I'm sure there's one person that triggered that, and then other people kind of came into other people kind of came into play. But I'm sure there's one person. I would like to know who he feels has that platform that's, that triggered that kind of outrage.
I think it might be. And listen, I can't speak for him because I didn't speak to him directly about that in particular. But I think from what he's saying, there's a lot of those albums that people are not even going to touch because, true, it's not going to touch the algorithm. So he might not be talking about one person specifically. He might be talking about all of us, like myself included. I'm guilty of not covering the shit that's not drama.
But you're not a music. You're not a music. It's a difference when, like, we're not the source. We're not even like I'm probably credible on the music scene, but like I don't review music for artists. Like I'm a culturist. I mean, I study street urban culture. You know what I mean? And the art that comes with it, but not just the art, but what goes into the art. What inspires the art is just as important to me as the art. So I think he's talking about specifically people who cover the art. A lot of the things that I talk about is what affects the people. So it's not necessarily about, trust me, I could have I could have a million conversations, I'm sure, that go viral. I mean, how much stuff I've been around. I could talk about, Wayne and Drake, like a situation between them. I could talk about Snoop, and I start talking about every big artist in the game in situations that I know versus, trying to be a little bit more pure and speak about where we are as a culture, people that inspire the art that we call hip hop. So right. I don't quite know, but I think Rob Markman talks about all of those people. I know Rob Markman talked about Bodie James. Rob is one of those guys that I would go to. Justin Hunt. I'm sure Justin Hunt talked about the Busta Rhymes album. Those are the guys that I would go to hear their opinion on music. But a lot of times when I go listen or when I'm looking or consuming hip hop content, I'm not actually looking for the music as much as I'm looking at why should I be paying attention to music, or what inspires the music, or what's been inspired by the music. Yeah. And that's really the cornerstone of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like I was explaining this on a stream with another homie, and I was talking about the UK rappers, how they got this kind of weird reimagination of revolutionary and hip hop. I don't know what they doing, the Revolutionary Wars, just some weird stuff. And I was saying, like, they have a bunch of really good writers in London rap. Like their writers are amazing. They write well. They technical devices as far as the English language is exquisite. But hip hop is so much slang, Black. Like it's so much slang, homie. Like it's slang, it's mannerism, it's style, it's get down. It's not just the writing part of it. The writing part, as much as it feels like it's the centerpiece, is not. You know what I mean? It's a style. It's a way you do things. When we were talking about the battle, right? Like when we was talking about the battle, I was like, I remember telling you, I'm like, yeah, no, the homie is as great of a writer as my homie. But it's a style thing that comes with it that it can really decide the winner. Like if you go back to KRS-One battling MC Shan, he didn't write anything crazy. It was how he made it feel. It was the style, how he kind of embodied that reggae, that energy in the Bronx and his upbringing, and then put it into an idea where you celebrated making fun of somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's getting lost because, everybody wants entry, you know what I mean? So they like, well, I can write as good as the next person, but do you have the style? Do you have the flavor? Do you have the get down, the mannerisms that make this work? And I think that's where, Dirt, what's the Dirt or whatever. I think he's like, everybody, we're not the new versions of the Source of the XXL, homie. Like we're not that. Like I'm for sure not, Benzino or Rob Kenner. I'm not. I'm not going out to, like, I'm working on some content now where I'm finna be up in Canada in one of the cities talking to like homies up there that got a Crip gang, how they got their Crip gang up there. Like I'm into the culture that inspires the art. Like I'm into the actual street urban culture itself, the things that go into how we live, how we, like, why is it this way? Why do we carry ourselves this way? Everything about that. So it's like, I get what he's saying, but I think that's kind of been the sentiment over the last 14 months where it's like, wait a minute, what is this culture thing? I didn't know this existed because it was like second nature. And then you had the homies from New York. They like, they giving you the 5 elements. They like, oh, it's the elements of rap and DJing and MCing, DJing and graffiti and dancing and the knowledge. They don't have to talk about style in New York because it's like second nature. Like flavor is second nature in New York. Everybody got flavor. You know what I mean? It's a flavor that comes from ghettos that's seasoned a certain way, and it escapes the ghettos too, but it's a flavor. And so I think that's what he doesn't quite understand. So a lot of the conversations that he feel like are being repeated are more about how they're affecting the way of life of everybody culturally around this fold. If that makes sense.
I see it makes sense, but I also feel like he gets a lot of backlash, and not from you yourself, because I don't feel like you were disrespectful to him, but like the comments went crazy. Like, get him out of here, culture vulture, Canadian bacon, whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the internet is a horribly cruel place, even when they don't mean it.
Yeah.
Like, it's people, man, every day is people hearing me talking crazy, and they be talking about how many followers I got or how many records I sold or how much money I make. I'm like, bro, you don't have any followers. You ain't made, like, I made millions of dollars, and you think I'm supposed to feel bad because this person made, like, I made a ton of money, but they not thinking. They're so busy just using that power of social media to try to bother somebody they feel like, I don't know, they just different. Social media is different.
Yeah, but I get it too, right? Where as soon as I defended him, or I just put any kind of, I just said I agree. Oh, 2 stupid Canadians over there, we don't want to hear nothing from y'all. You know whose fault this is, right? Bro. But it's partially, it's your man's fault.
Who?
Not like us.
That's not about
not
Canada.
Like us.
That is not Canada. There's people from Canada like us. What the fuck? There's a ton of people from Canada that's like us. He's talking about people outside of this thing we call us. And it's not, trust me, it is not an all-American anthem. It's not what happened. He didn't intend for that. When he was saying us, he did not have Donald Trump in mind or Joe Biden in mind. It's not us. It's not us we're talking about.
Okay, but if we get into the intricacies of not even just not like us, but euphoria, okay? I'd rather, what is it about the Pac ring than have a Canadian have Pac turning in his grave.
Sure.
What's wrong with having a Canadian wearing the ring? He's a successful artist who's achieved so many different things.
Sure.
The man can't buy Pac's ring. What if he even got permission to buy it? Is it still disrespectful because he's Canadian?
It's not this. Look, I think sometimes you can't take a battle overtly too serious. Don't get me wrong. I do think he mean a lot of this shit, but I don't think he means it in that regards as much as at that moment he's in combat. And it's like every little thing now is a mountain. Yeah. It might have been this big at first, but now that we here, you feel me? Let's go all the way. Like let's go all the way. You know what I mean? So it's hilarious, but no, it's that's how it is. It's your man fault, man. It's he did this. He did this. I told them don't do the battle. I know Stunner told him don't do the battle. It was just a bad idea. And he just did it anyway. And now it created this.
Hold on.
Needed to happen.
Not to interrupt, Two Glasses. You spoke to the homie. You told him don't do the battle.
Me and Stunner talk. All of it, like everybody telling him the same thing. It's not worth it.
What do you mean tell him? Did you tell him like over a tweet, or did you holler at him via DM? Say
No. I ain't talked to homie in years. I'm just saying I know the people that we communicate the same people told him what I thought. But I think my words is gonna fall on deaf ears because like the more I learn about hip hop and he could feel some kind of way about how I'm seeing the game now. But that's not to take away from his talent or how incredible of an act he is. It's just important we preserve this thing for the people it's supposed to give a voice to.
You don't do that, Glasses.
That's
You said how. I wish I could rewind because we're live right now.
Sure.
How great of an actor he is.
No, an act, not an actor. Act. act.
Okay.
He's not a
Okay,
great
let me
actor.
start.
He's a great act.
I'll
I
let
mean,
it
like
slide.
as a talent, he's like a really good writer. He's a great he's an all-time great record maker. You know what I mean? He knows, he's like a well-trained machine, bro. Is brilliant. You know what I mean? He's a brilliant cat. But he also is so culturally so fucking ignorant that like, and it's because he's been able to trample, you know what I mean, through this shit accidentally, and nobody said nothing. And now it's like it just all falls down on him at once, and it's just a lot. You know, it's a lot for anybody. But it's only because you got too goddamn far out of control with this shit. You start really acting like you was just on the shit, and it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Now, you know, and then you bumped into somebody that you didn't think was on the shit, and they own the shit way more than these stupid ass songs are saying. They own the bullshit. Like Dot is on some bullshit. Like this is who he is. He funny. I remember I told you this. He funny. He really stupid. He don't stop. He really got a fucking dark ass sense of humor, and he will keep going. Like we were on tour, bro. We sang the MC Hammer diss to Jay-Z every day. We knew it word for word. Like you get what I'm saying? Like it's a different type of opponent. Like where if you look back at my tweets with Meek, I was encouraging him. I'm like, man, this is a good one. He popping it, go get at him. You know, do your thing, cut his head off. This one, man, not just because he my homeboy, but this is a bad battle, bro. Even if you win, this is gonna be fucked up. You know what I mean? Leave that shit alone, fool. Like you don't gotta. You don't get in every fight every time somebody call you. Sometimes you wait until you ready for the fight when you ready for it.
But did it start with Drake or did it start with Kendrick? Because I feel like Control really started this shit. Like if we're gonna go way back,
that's kind of where. But even that was some tender shit. Like I'm better than Dot. I'm gonna say that shit right now. He's not finna come out and be like, man, Glaster said he's better than, you know, he's not finna do all of that whiny kind of shit energy, you know, Drake and Cole had. That shit is just hella whiny. Like, oh, he said he's better than us, and I hope he keeps that same energy. That ain't no energy. That's what this thing is about. It's an energy that you want to be the best, and you want to come out and you want to be on top. You don't want to be second or third. You definitely don't want to be a part of no fucking big three. The fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, no, I want to be the man. You know what I mean? I got in this shit to be the best I could be. I ain't trying to. Ain't no 3 gold medals. It's 3 medals. I want the gold. I don't care if y'all had the silver or the bronze. So that's the energy. And if that was what started this for them, you know what I mean? Then something is like they too tender. That's like some hip hop shit. Like nigga, rap. Like he want to be the best. To me, he didn't name people that he didn't think was in the running of competing. He named the people he felt that was competitive. And said, I want to be better. I'm trying to cut all y'all heads off when we on the song. That's not no big deal. We used to cut each other heads off every day in the studio. You know what I mean? Every day we was in the studio, we used to cut each other heads off. We be rapping verses, talking crazy. That's just what you do. You pop it.
So post-battle, what's your thoughts on both artists right now on where they are in the, just as far as their careers? Like, do you think everybody's recovered well?
I mean, I think Kendrick is at an all-time high in mainstream appeal. You know, like his mainstream appeal is all-time high. You know, for a lack of better comparison, you know, it's like if Tupac battled Madonna while alive. You know, if that could happen, if Madonna was a rapper and, you know, her mainstream type of success and iconic status and known all over the world and shit versus kind of the biggest thing in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Glasses.
Usually,
I know you too well now, bro. You gotta stop that, man.
What?
Who's Tupac and who the fuck is Madonna in this equation?
Drake is Madonna. That only sounds bad. No, that only sounds bad because it's a lady. Okay, let me think of a woman. Let me think of a man who had like Madonna's pop appeal.
Tupac and Michael Jackson. Let's do that.
No,
Prince
it's
and
not.
Michael.
It's different. It's different because Michael Jackson was an urban act that went pop. Like you'd have to have somebody who started pop so you can understand how they started to wedge themselves into the culture versus somebody came out of the culture. Like, you know, Drake is a brother, you know what I mean? But he wasn't, you know, niggas was talking shit when he first came out and, you know, it was kind of like hella Nickelodeon. It was clean, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, and not even in a hip hop clean sense. It wasn't like LL. It was kind of like, you looked at him kind of like, you know, critique when people would talk about him to me, be like, oh man, he just soft. I never heard that really about people in hip hop before, where they, because they never saw nobody come from Nickelodeon and get. Huh?
The Fresh Prince.
Nigga, Will Smith was a kid rapper who used to rap to kids. It's different. Drake is like was on Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? It was different.
That's that goalpost movement again, bro.
No, look, I think you're looking at Will Smith later. Will Smith.
No, I'm looking at him. I want to fight Mike Tyson. He came in, he was probably 17, 18, whatever. He was very young, yes, but he wasn't no kid rapper. He was just a corny ass dude.
Yeah, but we looked at him making songs for kids. Like for me, you know, like you didn't look at him like Drake wasn't like Will Smith. Like Drake didn't make songs for kids. Like he was like this adult who was like really well spoken and you know what I mean, came from Nickelodeon and really articulating that music. And you know, he was just sharp. You know what I mean? But it didn't have the edge, you know what I mean? And it was just different.
Yes.
So he started off as a pop act as far as when he was presented to the world, right? To the world.
Yes.
Now, so I think it got to a place. So the reason I compare it to Madonna, because Madonna started off as a pop act and then wedged herself culturally into where we was at. Like Madonna kind of like niggas start playing Madonna. Like older homies, you would see older G homies, them be really off holiday. And you'd be like, damn. You know what I mean? They was off of it. So as he wedged himself into that place, you know what I'm saying? It was different, but the battle was always somebody who was, you know, exposed to pop budgets since the beginning of their career and was like a pop icon success story, you know, from Nickelodeon to rap and they're like popular. And then you took like kind of the guy that's like the most revered guy in hip hop, you know what I mean? The guy that all, you know, people have respect for, even the people that don't listen. It's like, yeah, but you know, that guy's cool. And like those two entities competed. You know what I mean? It's like a game between LeBron and Messi or something. You know what I mean? It's just a different exposure level. And so it made Kendrick rise to his greatest, you know, popularity. And for Drake, it kind of ostracized him culturally. You know what I mean? Where he doesn't lose anything because he's still like this incredible record maker. And, you know, he's going to make some songs that you're going to think is catchy. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have success because he got a fan base of people. And he's just like outright dope. I mean, he's talented. So that's what changed. Like,
I feel like they kind of do the same thing, but just maybe in different voices because Kendrick will take the chances. He has a song with Taylor Swift. He takes chances of doing poppy type shit. He's a capitalist just like anybody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
But
I just don't, I feel like they're not two sides of different coin. They're two sides of the same coin.
No. Drake didn't need anybody. Drake didn't need anybody to cross over.
He's had himself. He does the hooks. He raps and he does the hooks.
But it's not the music that makes you cross over. It's like, can you sell the white dollars? You know what I mean? Could you like it's different. Like Future used Drake to cross over.
Okay.
Drake didn't need anybody to cross over. You know what I mean? Like Drake was, because he's a kid from Nickelodeon, you know, he's a little bit more well-spoken. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to put him in front of a room full of anybody, and you know, it's just different. His appeal is going to naturally, let's be honest, he light-skinned too. Like all of this stuff matters when they start financing what people see. You know what I mean? And Dot had to make efforts and moves, and they had to go through this critical space, right? I remember after To Pimp came out, he was doing like, this is 2 platinum albums in, he's doing the House of Blues in Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, so Drake was always different. Friday, like always, like
I'm not even taking that away. He's always different, but they're both they're both working within the same genre. They're both hip hop. I don't look at Drake as a pop act.
It's different.
Who's in hip hop sometimes. He's in hip hop, and his music is so popular that it crosses over to pop.
No, it was always crossover. First song, best I had. First song.
That was his first song. We know
best
this.
I ever had.
That was the first song to blow up.
Best I ever had a pop budget.
Yes, but that was the first song to blow up. That's the Young Money time.
I'm saying that's his first single push with a label.
Yes, but when Drake came in, he was a rapper. We didn't even know he sung until like.
But it's not.
We heard the mixtape.
it's not the singing, right? It's like Post Malone is a rapper. I know not to compare them because one makes country music. It's just different. But I'm just saying.
And one's a super culture vulture and one isn't.
No, that's not. Well, I don't even know.
Post Malone is a super culture vulture. If you hear this, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Because he came in White Iverson with the braids, and then now he's a complete country singer with a cowboy hat. Like,
and you don't use the culture of the same culture vulturous behavior, or is it
because he's no, it's not even having anything with him being a brother. He's consistently still rapping. It's not like he came in, rapped a little bit, and then did a whole bunch of pop songs and was like, "Bye, guys." No, he's constantly trying to prove himself in rap.
I think you're not realizing rap is a mainstream vocal delivery for a lot of performances.
For like, somebody like Flow Rider.
Just because you rap don't mean you like hip hop.
Yeah, like Flow Rider. But Drake is not Flow
Rider. Or like Jack Harlow, who really be MCing. He's gonna have pop budgets.
So Jack Harlow not hip hop?
I told Drama that, so Drama already been mad at me for saying that. No.
Why not?
Because it's not just the ability to rap. It's not just like, it don't mean that these people aren't great rappers. It just means it's something else happening as well. You know what I'm saying?
So do they have to come from a street background to be considered hip hop? Because Kwame's hip hop, Special Ed's hip hop.
It's not a street background, right? It's street urban culture. Like it's like don't get me wrong. I think the street and the urban communities create the style, but they go to suburban places that are kind of close. Like, right? Imagine it like a big tree, and the tree spreads out, the leaves spread out, and they cover way more than just the base of the trunk where they grow from. And then the pollen falls down onto everybody even close. Like where we from, Carson is a suburban community of Compton. Inglewood's a suburban community of Los Angeles. But because they are so close to the trunk of the tree, they get, pollen and the same things. They breathe in the same thing, so they talk the same. They act the same. They live the same. They may have a suburban feel, but they are very much. And it's like when you say Kwame, like you listen to him, he has the style of inner city New York. Even if he came from a suburban community, he still, sounds, he speaks like, the urban community. You know what I'm saying? He still speaks that way.
It's the same thing with like De La Soul. De La Soul came from Long Island. Long Island is not the hood of New York. It's like there are some hood areas in there.
But especially New York City, because I always say hip hop could only start it at a place like New York City, because I'm in New York last month, right? I'm doing some stuff. I ended up doing Bad Few. Shout out to Heino and Essex and Esso, Heineken Esso. I'm riding a train from Midtown, which is Hell's Kitchen, to Harlem, right? I'm going to 127th and Lenox. So I'm riding the C train, Crib Gang, right? I'm C train, boom. I'm talking to a dude from Brooklyn, right? We chopping it up on the stop. We chopping it up about hip hop loud. A dude from Queens walk up and he jump in it. We get on the C train. A white man that looked like he worth about $700 million, and you could tell this white man come from some paper, he hop in. Two ladies, two young girls, they got to be somewhere 20, 25, hop in the conversation. Like, it's just this big, loud conversation of hip hop happening on the C train going to Harlem by all these people. That could only happen in New York City like that. And it wasn't random. Like, every time I'm in New York, that's the energy. Like, everybody is seasoned with, let's say, the urban community. So even when we say Long Island, like Long Island may not be Southside Jamaica, it ain't far enough. They still the same thing. Now, it may not be as poor, you know what I mean? It may not be, but trust me, they talk just like the rest of everybody else, because New York is so small, you can't get away from each other. It ain't like where you from or where I'm from, like Toronto or Los Angeles. We probably got more ghettos than Toronto, but Toronto got ghettos. But y'all have more places where people don't have to cross with people from where we from. Same in Los Angeles. Like, it's people that never cross with us. that never cross with people that grew up in Compton and Watts or South Central. Never. They never even been to Compton, Watts, or South Central. New York is different. You not finna go to New York and not run into the brothers. You're gonna run into the culture. You're gonna run into the flavor, and you're gonna get seasoned. And Friday, you're gonna run into them often. You're not gonna even run into them once or twice. And part of that is, again, remember how small it is. Everybody's on top of each other, and everybody rides public transportation.
Yes, but I feel like that's the equivalent of over here in Toronto. Toronto, fourth largest city in America, in North America. Very urban as far as like where everybody's stacked up on top of each other, and downtown to all over different ends. Obviously, there's some places that are less stacked up, but there's a combination of the two. We got project housing over here.
I know.
We got shit traffic. We got crime that might not be as high as other places, but
bro, you do not have to convince me.
It's crazy.
Listen, I agree.
So, coming from these
Toronto. I agree. Toronto has street urban places. We talked about this last time Friday.
Yeah,
like I met different people from Toronto, homies. Like that's real troopers, real solid homies. That is different though. Like there's places in Toronto where you never got to cross Friday. You will never run into people like Friday. That's not like that in New York. You're gonna run in if you're in New York, you're gonna run into Friday. I don't care where you live. It's just you got to get out the city.
As far as because I've been through all over New York. If I live in somewhere in Long Island where my grandmother used to work in and clean somebody's house, okay, you ain't gonna run into a Friday over there unless I'm going to visit my grandmother.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. As soon as you leave, you're gonna run into Friday. As soon
as I get back to Brooklyn, yeah.
No, it ain't because it's in Long Island. They got it in Long Island too.
Yeah, if I go to Hempstead.
Some of my homies at street races from Long Island. Like I got homies, they thugging in Long Island, even if they're not thugging in every neighborhood. I'm just saying, as soon as you leave, when you go to school in Long Island, you're gonna go to school with somebody that's from the culture. You're not gonna miss it. And it's not like that, like in Los Angeles or in Toronto. There are places you could be and don't never run into Friday. There's never a reason to run into Friday in your life at all. There's never one reason you're gonna run into a Friday in Toronto, certain places, and in Los Angeles. Like you may not run into glasses if you live in Beverly Hills. You just may not. There's never a reason. You would never need to come to South Central. You'll never need to come to Watts or Compton. You'll never need to come here. And there's never a reason for us to go to Beverly Hills. There's never a reason for us to go to all of these places. It's more places that we don't go to. We just have a bigger niche ghetto.
Let me ask you then, because I know you're not thinking that, I know you don't feel that like, because he's from Canada, that he's not hip hop. But can somebody come from Beverly Hills and be hip hop?
I would imagine, yes. I think somebody could go be from Toronto. I think people could be from a lot of things if they're raised somehow in the culture. Like if your dad is at your house all the time and he call you a little nigga your whole life, and this is where you're getting it, and your dad is that guy, your mom is that guy. Like always, I think I told you this last time, Friday. Like, if you really want to know if you hip hop, the first lesson you get in hip hop, and it's gonna sound crazy. First time you got your ass whooped at school and you went home and you told your parents, Mom, Dad, you got your ass whooped. If they told you to go back to school and fight that motherfucker, or if they said next time somebody put their hands on you, you better kick their ass, your ass is hip hop. Your ass is hip hop. If your mom told you, your dad told you to go tell the principal or go tell the teacher, you might not be hip hop. It may didn't work out for you, because hip hop is rooted in street urban culture. That stand up for yourself. Fuck they rules. This is the rule. The rule is to stand up for yourself.
It's up. I guess it can be one part of the rule book, I guess, but it's not the ultimate rule. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people's parents that were like, yo, so they could tell the teacher, and then they ended up becoming rappers. I'm not even thinking that Drake might have been in that category. You know what I mean? Maybe his mom told him, like, next time you go back in there and punch him in the face. No, I don't know what happened in the house.
No, she didn't.
I didn't grow up with them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, she didn't tell him that. But it's not just that, right?
Also, Glasses, he's never divulged that in the interview where he's like, well, my mom told me to go call the teacher when that shit type of happened. So
actually,
we're assuming.
Actually, he does say stuff like that. It is very much his conversation is very all popular ideal. You know what I mean? Like it is. Like he does say stuff like that. Like when he was saying, like, he did an interview with this station in Canada, and they was like, he was explaining his music, and he was saying how his dad tried to cross the border and the SWAT got on his dad, and he said, that's why the hood relates to my music.
How old was he there, man?
I swear to God, I'm not making that up.
He was probably like 17, not even in that.
No, he was
clip.
21, but it's not the age. Like, you don't say that specifically if that's not the thing. You don't say, you know, I saw the SWAT jump on my dad because he illegally tried to cross the border, and that's why the hood relates to my music. That is crazy, Friday. Like, I get what he's trying to say, but that's very much an outsider's perspective of why we relate to each other.
It sounds like somebody who just said something dumb in an interview that when they got older was like, that was kind of stupid. I have a different perspective now. It sounds like a young man. It sounds like a young man's answer. Like, I interview people all the time, and respectfully, sometimes they have some great insight, and sometimes they just give me little young YN answers.
But I don't think that was a bad answer. I think that's literally his idea of why people relate to him. I don't think, what else would be his relative? Like, what else would it be his relation? Like, where else would he connect to people that come from the ghetto of Toronto?
Being around people from the ghetto of Toronto.
Where was he around them?
When he was going up on, and y'all in the comments, I know there's certain people who know exactly the different streets and stuff like that. But when he was up on the Western Road flows, that comes from somewhere. He's not just cosplaying, saying that he was around Western Road. Western Road is a very popular area out here. You know what I mean? That has metro housing and stuff like that. He didn't just grow up in
I'm aware of Western Road, but if I remember correctly, he moved at 11. And I think,
yeah, but it doesn't mean that he didn't, that as soon as he went over to Forest Hill, that he never connected back to any of his people. Hip Hop Hoops, thank you, said that's where he was born, right?
Sure.
But, so it doesn't mean that he just left Western Road and never connected it with any of the mandem over there ever again. You know what I'm saying?
So my question to you is, why isn't the initial of his career about Western Road?
He has a whole song called Western Road Flows.
No, not the initial part of his career. Like, as he started. Why is it more of a Houston, Atlanta, Vegas? Like, he chose a pop route.
That's also choosing once you're going into the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it's right, but succumbing to some of the different things that the industry will tell you as far as making a hotter
told
song.
Him that. Trust me, the one thing you can't tell me about is Lil J family, stun him. You can't know Wayne. That's not true. You got to really understand how smart and well studied this dude was. He is not like, dog, he prepared for this moment. That's one thing I could compare him to Michael Jackson. Like, Michael Jackson wrote a note to himself about who he was going to become. He was like, man, I'm finna be the man. People gonna believe in magic when I hit the stage. My name is no longer gonna be Michael Jackson. People ain't gonna even think about the Jackson 5 when they see me. I'm gonna be the best dancer. I'm gonna be the best actor. He prepared. Homie, Drake did the same thing. He prepared for this moment. He prepared. And the thing is, your sacrifice is your sacrifice. But you can't go in and change it when you get there and convince us something different. We ain't stupid.
Okay. I got a couple more questions, but not even questions, just things that I was thinking about. Because a lot of people know, and then there's some people who don't know because they don't do their hip-hop history. That you guys were label mates at one point.
Yeah.
Back in the Young Money times.
Sure.
You saw Drake when he first came in the game. Wasn't he rapping at that point?
He was hella dope.
But he was pretty much rapping for the most part, and then just maybe doing a hook here and there.
Yeah.
So did you not consider him hip hop back then?
No. What? So, okay. Tricky. I was really a Crip Friday. I didn't know. I wasn't into hip hop. Like, I know that sounds odd. Like, I bought all the albums, as long as I could. My mom, I was raised on the music, but I wasn't studying it. Him and Dot Kendrick and them, they were like real students of the art. They were like students of the art. So, like, I wouldn't even thought about hip hop. Like, I just remember them introducing this kid from Nickelodeon. That was how he was prefixed. We just signed this dude from the Nickelodeon TV show. I didn't even know the show because, like, I was already an adult, so I wasn't watching Nickelodeon. Like, the Nickelodeon shit I saw was like Darkwing Duck and Dare and shit like that. You know, Double Dare. I didn't see no fucking Degrassi. Like I was already a gang member and shit. I went to jail and fucked up and shit. So I didn't know what they were talking about. But I remember meeting this dude and he was just like this really well-mannered dude. He was just a really cool guy. You know what I mean? And I remember talking to him and listening to him talk and seeing things. I'm like, how the fuck is this gonna work? You know what I mean? Like how is this gonna work? You know what I mean? And they press play, and I remember just thinking, like, God damn, like, who the fuck is this? Is this dude? You know what I mean? That's how fucking dope he was. Friday was like, fuck, this motherfucker is amazing. And you kind of knew he already had a pop space. Like it was different. It didn't sound like nothing Tune was on. It didn't sound like Kanye. It didn't sound like Will Smith. It just sounded like different. He sounded like special. You know, you could tell he was a fucking incredible record maker, like from off the rip, bro. He was just dope.
What songs did you hear first from him? Like, did you hear stuff from the Comeback Season album? Like, where were you introduced to Drake?
So
like
my homeboy was on Comeback Season. My homeboy Metro, shout out to Metro. He put me on Comeback Season. I really didn't care because it was just kind of rapping, rappity pappity. I didn't give a fuck, you know, about Trey Songz a cool nigga and all that, but like whatever, you know what I mean? I ain't tripping off that. So when they were playing songs that end up becoming a mixtape of So Far Gone, is it So Far Gone, right? Yeah. So they were playing songs, and Successful was one of the songs I heard, and I remember just thinking, like, God damn, this motherfucker is dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, damn, this dude is dope. You know what I mean? You just knew he was tough, but you didn't even think, and it was pitched like he was kind of different. It was pitched like he wasn't, like, for lack of better terms, hip-hop. It was like he was like this really phenomenal talent that came from this television show, and now he was making music. It was pitched that way. So, and when you press play, you really realize, like, this motherfucker was incredible. Like, this motherfucker knew his shit. You know, and this is before I even knew who 40 and them was. So, like, you just heard it, like, damn, man, this dude is dope. And, you know, you watch his shit happen, you know, you watch it, you hearing the songs, and you seeing everything happen. So I don't think you had to kind of decipher it. He kind of was like, he was his own thing. You know what I'm saying?
So you didn't think that he was considered a rapper at that point? So back then when you guys were like, and I'm talking, you guys were in your young 20s at this point. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you didn't look at him and say,
young 20s. I was a grown-up.
Okay, but you didn't look and say, this nigga is a crazy ass rapper. You said, this guy's a crazy pop star from then?
Okay, so I think the issue is in the term rapper, right? I think you feel like rapper means hip hop.
Oh, both. I'm talking about him being a part of hip hop and being a dope ass rapper, not just a rapper, pop star who can rap.
His songs felt bigger than anything happening in hip hop. Like it didn't feel like none of the stuff we were making. It didn't even feel like none of the stuff Tune was making, Wayne was making. Like it felt closer to the stuff Nicki was making, but it wasn't. It had more soul than, let's say, like the song she might have been doing with the early stuff. You know what I mean? Like he still had more of a soul to what he was doing, so it had a unique pop feel. But it didn't feel like, you know, it didn't feel like traditional sense hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? And even when they were trying to get us together on a song, bro, like I didn't know how a song would work.
So
like
you guys were supposed to have a collabo and you never did it?
Hell no. Because I was really, I know, right? I know. And my homeboy shut up, right? Look, Pun gets so mad, right? Because Pun, who do Ace Boys Worldwide, he gets so mad, but I didn't know how it would work. Think about it, Friday. I'm making Crip Gang at this time. I'm making I Sell Dope. Like I'm making the hardest songs in the world. And this dude is making like these hella clean, like really great cliche kind of, you know, all human being anthems. Like, you know what I mean? He was just like special as a talent. And I really didn't have any desire to fuck with him or work with him. Even after he was successful, Friday, it was like, damn, like how do we cross? I'm a Crip from Watts, and you know, and then he ended up doing a song, like even after everybody kept trying to get us, you know, Baby was trying to push it, and and then he did a song with Nipsey, and the song was just like not tight. It's like the Killers. I'm like, it just didn't work together. And I'm like, see, I knew this shit wouldn't work. But then
That
like
song
2-3
wasn't
years
so
later,
bad. That wasn't so bad. That song was kind of, that was pretty fire, bro. Don't do that.
I mean, think about all his songs. All his songs Friday are going crazy except this song. Because it felt like
it was an album cut. It wasn't supposed to be a single, in my opinion. What was the name of that song again? Was it called Killer? Gang, somebody in the comments, help us out. What was the name of that song? R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle, man. One of my favorites, man. That shit hurt me when Nipsey died, bro. What was the name of that song? I think it was Cause I'm a killer.
Yeah, Killer. And I just didn't know how, you feel me? I just didn't know how it would work together.
Damn, bro, you should have done the feature.
Nah, I still think I got it right. Maybe make me an extra couple millions of dollars, but I still think I got it right.
Oh man. Okay. I think we're done with the Drake talks, man. I'm Drake and Kendrick out, bro. To be honest, bro. I want to find out what's going on with you. You know what? Before what's going on with you, I want your opinion on some of your brethrens over there in the podcast space. What's up with the boy Akademiks marking out T Rell, man?
I don't know. T Rell must have felt generous, man. I want to see them fight though, because I don't think Act got nothing for T Rell. It'd be fun while it lasts, but I think T Rell might be a little sad. T Rell trying to change his life, man. I'm proud of him. You know what I mean? It's easy for me to ride down on him and be like, man, you know, you should have been a Hoover and press Cuz line. But really, like at this point, look, man, if you want your life to change, bro, and you trying to get further and you don't want to, you know, look how we be looking sometimes pressing our line, I ain't mad at you, bro. Do your thing. Like if we can't agree on, you know, certain things, you know, if this what you want, like I want it for you. If he comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it for him.
What's the term? If you like it, I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, T Rell is more successful than he ever been. He's popular. He's living a life. Hopefully, he's living the life that he want to live, and it's not as important to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think he better go. And I tell you this, you better be careful because he's from Hoover, and them Hoover niggas is grimy. They act like something cool, and later on get your ass packed out. So they may not be cool. So Act better watch his back.
Yeah, and it would have just looked crazy if these guys went and wrecked the Turks and Caicos party, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it probably would have been. And niggas, see, my stupid ass would have did it.
Niggas is wearing linen.
Like, fuck it. Been on TMZ. I can see you now talking about Friday. Fucking glasses. Why would you do that in Turks and Caicos?
Like, don't you got chancletas on glasses? What you doing, man?
What's happening, bro? You supposed to be vacationing. Nah, I'm wrecking, cuz. Fuck that.
Glasses with a white linen shirt, just swinging on somebody.
All that shit. Took all that shit off. Get cracking, cuz. What's happening, nigga? You was talking all that shit, nigga. What's up? Boom. Nigga just get locked up in Turks and Caicos jail. It's crazy.
Oh, man. And one thing I want to talk to also before we close our conversation, as a podcaster, okay, No Ceilings, Black Effect, iHeart Network, big salute to Charlamagne. Can you give us some insight? I heard you the other week on Brilliant Idiots with Mandy and Wheezy, and y'all were having a great conversation over there. Kind of wild, but great conversation.
Sure, that's wild.
Right? But give us some insight from working with Charlamagne, some jewels that you've picked up.
You know what? That motherfucker ain't gave me no advice.
You know, I'm not, it doesn't necessarily mean advice. Just
you know,
this guy's a successful dude, man. Like,
yeah,
you could pick up a lot of shit from being around.
He's trying to push me further than I push myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'll give him that. Like, he's definitely created a space for creators to do their stuff.
Yeah, man. No, salute to Charlamagne, man.
I'm gonna get on you, man. I'm on you. I'm gonna get with you Friday. I'm gonna get you on this No Ceilings stream in the next couple of weeks, man. I'm gonna get at you. I'm gonna text you, man. I got to get up out of here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time, Glasses. A great conversation here, man. And I got my pardon, so I'll be over there soon.
It's that time, and you got to come do it live.
Yeah.
All right.
Salute to Glasses Malone, man. Big salute to Glasses Malone. I think we had a fruitful conversation here.
We
Thanks
love
for
hip-hop.
watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.